Okay, so just getting ready to fit the outer primary chain case cover onto the engine, which is pretty straightforward now that everything's been done. All the nuts are tightened up, we've got our oil seal in there, and we have this thrust bearing here against the shock absorber. I don't know if I've mentioned before, by the way, that if the spider is worn or these rivets are loose, there are companies that do a reconditioning service. I think LP Williams Triumph spares, I think they do a service. So if that spider is gone, then you can't buy it new, but you can get it reconditioned, I think. Okay, so that's all in. We've got a new primary chain. Now in the outer casing, there's only a couple of things. We've got this needle roller bearing. Okay, that's going to go on or run on here. And then we've got this thrust washer here that will sit in there, and it will run on that thrust race there. Needle rollers there. Now I'm not sure. I think you can buy these new now. They were unobtainable. I think maybe they're available now, but basically they fit in there and they're crimped a bit, and so you often get little bits that are chipped off where I think it's been like squeezed. They've been sort of squeezed in at the factory, and then over the years they've broken off, but it doesn't matter. Oops, focus, thank you. Now the thing about these is that they do wear, but the advantage is that you can turn them over. And this one, there's signs of being worn, but it's not, there's no real appreciable wear on it. So I think this side looks better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back in there. I'm going to stick it in probably with some grease to make sure it doesn't fall out while I put it in. Then obviously we've got assembly lube on this bearing and that bearing. Then I'm going to fit the primary chain tensioner, which simply slots on to this shaft here. And then the tensioning bolt will go up underneath, and it screws up and simply pushes against that, and that then pushes against the chain to tension it. So I'm just going to leave it so there's no tension at all on it once I put it on. Yeah, someone was asking about this. Earlier models had a completely different primary chain tensioner. Oops, daisy, that's that washer's come out. And so there's still a boss here. See, that was what was used for the early tensioners. And this boss here, I think, is now for the tension that we use. So I don't think that's there on early models. I'm not sure, but they, of course, being British, when they when they changed the tensioner, they didn't bother changing the actual casing, so the boss is still there. Let's see if that. Yeah, does that fall? Yeah. Okay, and then so what they used to have like a sort of a rugby ball shaped affair, and it would be bolted to this extra strengthening plate here at one end, and there'd be a rod that would go through, and you turn that rod and it spread the sort of rugby ball, if you know what I mean, to tension the chain. Which didn't work great, so that's why they went onto this basic sort of slipper tensioner, which works fine. Okay, so that's one of the differences. As I've said before, I think they changed all the way through production, but there are certain times when things change, quite a bit. Right, okay. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put well seal on that mating surface, well seal on here, get my gasket out. I'm going to glue this sort of in so it doesn't fall out when I'm assembling, and that's it. We should get the outer casing should be on. Right, so I'm getting ready to put this outer case on. We've put all the well seal round, and we've also put well seal, and you see that You might be able to see it, put well seal on these two pillars here, which are the two pillars that engage with the gasket that we put in there, and that just stops the oil going down and coming out of these of the two centre bolts in the middle of the casing. We've got all oiled everything. Yeah, all on the bearings. We have remembered to loosely fit the tensioner. It's easy to put the case on and forget to put that. And we've got the thrust washer on as well. That's about it. And I'm going to put the new gasket on. I'm going to fit it to the outer casing because the dowels are in the outer casing, so it gives it something to locate with. There we go. Just slide it as best as possible so it mates up with the holes. Okay, as best we can do. And then we are going to just pop it on, and it should just slide straight on. Got that there. Yeah. This spigot here for the that holds the tensioner, that will be locating first. There we go. 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 Oh, okay. Casing on. And then we've got to fit the various casing bolts. There's a long bolt. From memory, this goes right at the front, in that very front bit there. There, it's located now. We've got two very small ones. Yeah. Both go at the very bottom. Like that. Just putting things in loosely. I've got the wrong one there. I've got the wrong one in there. Should know better than that yet. So the small one goes at the very front there. Yeah, so we've got a short one there, and then there's a long countersunk one that goes in there. So there's three countersunk ones at the bottom, and then all the rest are standard. But we've got lots of different lengths of this one. I'm struggling to remember which is which, but we'll find out. I think we've got two long ones in the centre, there and there. And we've got one shorter one, and all the others are the same length. So we've got one very long one there, countersunk one there, short, countersunk one there, short, long countersunk one there, two very long ones in the centre. And then I've got, I think we've got a lot of different lengths on these. I should be able to remember, shouldn't I? But of course I can't. So I've got 5 longer, 2 slightly shorter, and 1 very short. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go round and I pop them in and just check where the how far they stick out, basically. Yeah. 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 Let's have a look. It's definitely wrong. That's a long one. Wrong. Okay, yeah, so I'm just about to tighten up the outer casing bolts. So the very long one goes at the front there. Then 2 fairly long ones go in the middle. Then we have a short countersunk. Where we gone? Short countersunk there. Short countersunk there. Long countersunk there. And then all the other bolts are sort of medium length, apart from that one, which is a bit shorter. So there. Hold on, let's see if I can get rid of that. There. So A 3-inch, which is that long one at the front. B 2 1/4, the other one's in the centre. C 1 3/4, so that's all the standard ones apart from that one. D is that one, that's that bit short, just slightly shorter. E is the long countersunk, and F are the 2 short countersunks. So if you've got a workshop manual, you know, it tells you exactly where things go. In my case, everything was fine, except of course someone had put the wrong screw in. There was one that was actually too short. So I don't know what someone had been doing, but I'm looking at it thinking that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? And I'm going around, and of course I double checked with the manual, and simply someone had put the wrong screw in, which is fairly common. Right, so I'm going to do these up now, and then that's the casing on. Okay, so the primary case is all on, and I'm just getting ready to fit some of the extra sort of furniture on the outside, or at least I was. So I came to fit the tensioner bolt for the primary. There's a primary chain tensioner which screws up from underneath. So I've gone to screw it in, and I've realised I've had a complete, brain malfunction, senior moment, whatever. Oh God! You have to fit the bolt from the inside first, Chris. The bolt screws down inside. You can't fit it once you've got the damn chain case on, Chris. I think you'd have remembered that, but you didn't, did you? No. So I'm now going to take the chain case back off again. Now, it shouldn't be too big a job, but it's still a bloody pain in the backside. Stupid thing to do. Try not to rip the gasket. That's the main thing. I'll probably just heat the casing slightly to liquidize the well seal a bit. It's cold down here, because if it's liquid, it will just come off. When it's cold, it hardens a bit, that well seal, and then it might rip the gasket. Anyway, got to take the chain case back off, then screw this adjuster screw down from the inside, then put the chain case back on, and then adjust it. But you adjust it obviously when it's like now, but you have to fit it before putting the chain case on. Wally, here we go, making more work for yourself. Back in a minute. There we go, managed to get the case off, and then this obviously remove the blade, then screw the adjuster in so it's lowest position, and then put the casing on, and then we'll adjust it up. A tip from me, don't forget to put the adjusting bolt in before fitting the outer primary chain case. That's a tip from me for me. Enough said. Right, so I had to re-weld seal everything and so on, but anyway, the cover's back on now, and back on. And here is the adjuster bolt that I forgot to put in before. And then we've got a Doughty washer. That's the washer with a little oil seal like in the middle of it, and locking nut, and we're going to put those on. And you adjust the tension, obviously, of the tensioner by screwing that in and out. And the actual tension should be about 1/2 inch play on the primary chain. So that's total, so 1/4 inch up and 1/4 inch down. Ours is, right on that with no tension because it's a brand new chain. So I'm just going to leave this just off tight, and then that needs adjusting after a couple of 100 miles when things have settled in a bit. So I'll put these two on. The main thing obviously is it's a bit like the tappets. You have to stop this turning. It does have a slot in the bottom for a screwdriver. Stop that turning obviously while you're doing the nut up, otherwise you're changing your tension. Okay, so I'll get those two on and then recheck the tension. Right, that's kind of sinking the ship for want of a halfpenny worth of tar, as they say. So I didn't bother getting a new Doughty washer. I thought I'd just reuse the old one. But of course the old one, come to put it on, I mean, it's fallen apart and the rubber's solid, rock hard. It would have, just for the sake of not bothering to change that, it gives you all sorts of problems. Mainly it's just going to leak, and then you've rebuilt all the engine, you've got an oil leak somewhere. You're not sure where, but it's coming from there. So, I should have replaced that. So I'll have to send away for a new Doughty washer somewhere. And then we'll do it. But, yeah, just, a simple little thing like that I didn't bother changing can make all the difference.